War had changed Alex Carter. Once, he was just a boy from Earth who dreamed of flying starships. Now, as a sergeant in the United Earth Forces, he led soldiers through the ashes of ruined worlds. The war with its Salary Empire had lasted 10 years, and on this lonely planet at the edge of known space, it felt like it might never end. The sky was a dark, angry red, full of swirling alien clouds. Ash drifted down like gray snow. Alex's squad huddled behind broken metal walls. Their armor was dented, their faces dirty. Everyone's eyes showed the same thing: exhaustion and fear. But Alex had learned to hide his fear. He checked his rifle, his hand steady even though his heart raced. The Salary were close. Their insect-like forms shimmered in the distance, their green exoskeletons blending with the dying forest. They moved as a single mind, disciplined and relentless. No one had ever beaten them in battle, until humans learned how to fight back. A distant explosion shook the ground. The squad ducked as debris rained down. Over the radio, Alex heard panicked voices. The Salary were pushing forward on every front. "We hold the line," Alex barked. "If we fall, Earth falls next. Stand with me." His words steadied his team. Even the newest recruits, eyes wide with terror, took a breath and nodded. Together, they fired into the advancing swarm, bullets sparking off alien armor. For a moment, Alex felt hope. They might just survive. Suddenly, everything changed. The Salary lines stopped advancing. Their soldiers stood still, their strange weapons lowered. An eerie silence fell over the battlefield. Even the wind stopped. A bright light split the sky. From above, a huge ship descended, larger than any Alex had ever seen. Its hull was a living thing, covered in pulsing blue veins and twisting silver patterns. It landed with a force that shook the earth. Doors opened, and from within, the Salary Queen herself emerged. She was taller than any human, her armor shining gold. Her eyes glowed violet, and her every step commanded silence. Alex had heard stories about her, Queen Zahara, the undefeated ruler of the Salary. No human had ever seen her in person. Until now. The queen raised a hand, and the Salary soldiers knelt. She walked alone toward the human line, unafraid of the guns pointed at her. Her voice, when she spoke, echoed across the ruined plain. "I come under the banner of truce," she declared, her words clear in perfect English. "The war has cost us both too much. Today, we end this, if you accept my offer." Alex's breath caught in his throat. Peace. After so much bloodshed. He glanced at his squad, hope and disbelief mixing on their faces. The queen's eyes fixed on Alex. He had no idea why she looked at him, or what this offer might be. But somehow, he knew. The fate of two worlds was about to rest on his shoulders. And in that moment, the war changed forever. Alex stood in stunned silence as the Queen of the Salary approached. The battlefield was quiet. Even the wind dared not make a sound. The soldiers, human and alien, watched every step Zahara took. She looked powerful, her gold armor shining in the weak sunlight, her violet eyes bright and searching. Alex tried to hide his nerves as the queen stopped just a few feet away from him. She was taller than he imagined, but not frightening. There was a calm strength about her. For a second, Alex almost forgot that she was the leader of the enemy. "My name is Queen Zahara of the Salary Empire," she said, her voice ringing clear for all to hear. "We have fought for too long. Too many have died on both sides. I wish to end this war, but peace must have a price." She turned, looking at the wounded soldiers and destroyed machines around them. Her face softened to just a little. "My ancestors made peace through alliance, not just words. We believe in binding our fates together." Alex listened, confused. What did she mean? Was she offering a treaty, or something more? Then Zahara spoke words no one expected. "According to our tradition, peace can only be sealed if the leader of the enemy accepts marriage with the Salary Queen. This union will show both our peoples that the past is behind us and a new era has begun. A shock went through the crowd. Human commanders whispered to each other, struggling to understand. The news traveled quickly through Alex's earpiece. Headquarters demanded to know what was happening. Was this a trick? Was she serious? Sahara continued, I do not seek to humiliate or conquer. I offer respect and a chance for true peace. But I will only accept a warrior of great honor and courage. The one called Alex Carter, who has shown mercy and bravery on the battlefield, is my choice. Alex felt the eyes of every human and salary upon him. His heart pounded. Marry the queen. For peace, the idea was unbelievable. But when he looked at his squad, at their hope, at the tired faces of those who just wanted to go home, he began to understand. It was not just about him. It was about the future of both worlds. His commander's voice crackled in his ear, low and urgent. Alex, this is your decision. But remember what's at stake. Billions of lives. A chance for real peace. Alex took a deep breath and stepped forward, meeting Zahara's gaze. She watched him carefully, searching for doubt or fear. Instead, Alex gave a small, steady nod. If my marriage can bring peace, I accept, he said, his voice strong though his hands trembled. A murmur spread through both armies. For the first time in years, there was hope instead of hate. Queen Zahara smiled, the tension in her face easing. Then let us begin the path to peace together. And as the sun broke through the clouds, Alex realized his life, and the fate of humanity, had changed forever. The news of Alex and Queen Zahara's engagement spread like fire across the stars. Some humans cheered, hoping for an end to the long, bitter war. Others were shocked or angry. How could one soldier's marriage change so much? Alex himself was full of questions and doubts, but there was no turning back now. A Xalari ship, shaped like a shining silver crescent, waited to take Alex to the alien capital. Before leaving, he met with his commanders in a small tent near the battlefield. Maps and broken machines crowded the space. His closest friends stood by, their faces a mix of worry and pride. Are you sure about this, Alex? Whispered Lieutenant Maria, his old friend. You don't even know her. Alex tried to smile, but it was thin and tired. I don't have to love her, Maria. I just have to do what's right. Maybe with time, I'll understand her. Maybe she'll understand me. His commanding officer shook his hand. Remember, you're not just a soldier anymore. Now you're a symbol for all of us. Be careful. Trust your instincts. With heavy steps, Alex left the camp and crossed the battlefield. This time, not as a warrior, but as a hope for peace. The Xalari greeted him in their strange, musical language, bowing low as he boarded the ship. Sahara stood waiting in the center, her gold armor replaced by a robe that shimmered with every color of the sky. She watched him with calm eyes, as if searching his soul. Are you afraid? She asked softly. Alex didn't lie. Yes, I don't know your world. I don't know what kind of husband you expect me to be, but I will try. Sahara nodded, respect in her gaze. That is enough for now. You have shown more courage than most. As the ship lifted off, Alex looked back at the shrinking battlefield. For the first time, he saw the destruction as more than just a part of war. It was something that had to end, for everyone's sake. The journey was silent, full of tension. Alien stars and swirling nebulae filled the windows. Alex stared at them, wondering what his future held. He missed Earth, his family, even the things he used to hate. Long training runs, cold nights in muddy trenches. When they reached the Xalari homeworld, Alex was stunned. The capital city was a living thing. Towers grown from glowing crystal, streets that pulsed with light, air filled with sweet scents and strange music. But there were stares everywhere. Xalari children pointed at him. Adults whispered, their antennae twitching with curiosity and suspicion. Zahara led Alex to a high balcony. Below, millions of Salari gathered, waiting for a sign that peace was real. Zahara raised Alex's hand, showing the world their strange new bond. Alex felt the weight of every eye on him. He realized this marriage wasn't just about him or Zahara. It was about the hope of two entire worlds. Inside, he promised himself, whatever happened, he would not fail them. Alex Carter had never felt so alone. That Salari capital was nothing like Earth. It was alive, glowing with gentle blue and green lights. Buildings curved like giant shells, pulsing softly as if they were breathing. The ground beneath Alex's boots was warm, not cold stone or metal, but some living material that hummed under his feet. Everywhere he looked, Salari watched him. Their bodies were tall and slim, covered in tough but shining exoskeletons. Their eyes glowed in many colors: violet, blue, green. Some looked at him with curiosity, others with distrust or even fear. He was the first human to walk their streets, and they treated him like both a guest and a stranger. Queen Zahara walked beside him, leading him through the heart of her city. Her presence was like a shield. Wherever she went, the crowds parted. She answered his questions with patience, explaining their customs and the meaning behind strange sights: glowing flowers growing from the walls, singing stones that changed colors with every footstep, food that tasted sweet and sour at the same time. Alex was shown to his new quarters inside the royal hive, a vast palace built into a living mountain. The walls here were decorated with the history of the Salari: victories, festivals, ancient heroes, and scenes of unity and peace. But Alex also saw images of war, destruction, and loss. The Salari, he realized, were proud, but they were also tired. Like the humans, they had lost too much. Later that day, Zahara introduced Alex to her advisors. Some bowed politely, hiding their suspicion behind stiff smiles. Others were open about their doubts. One advisor, old and sharp-eyed, leaned close to Zahara and spoke in a language Alex couldn't understand. Zahara replied calmly, her words smooth and quiet. Alex guessed they were arguing about him, and it stung. Zahara noticed his discomfort. "They worry for our people," she told him softly. "Many do not trust humans yet. Peace is difficult after so much pain." Alex nodded. "I understand. My own people feel the same. Maybe, if we work together, we can change their minds." To help bridge the gap, Zahara showed Alex the Salari way of life. He watched their young learning music and science in open-air schools. He joined a simple meal, tasting food made from the rich purple fruits of their world. He tried, awkwardly, to join in their greeting rituals, touching hands and antennae with respectful bows. Though every day was a challenge, Alex started to feel something new, a tiny seed of belonging. Zahara was never far, always answering his questions, encouraging him, sharing small smiles when he got something right. One evening, as they stood on a balcony overlooking the city's soft glow, Zahara spoke quietly. "Change is hard, but you are not alone, Alex Carter. You have already done more than many believed possible." Alex looked at the city below, at the people who were beginning to watch him not with fear, but with hope. For the first time, he let himself believe that peace might truly be possible. Days passed quickly in the Salari hive, but for Alex, each day brought new challenges and discoveries. He spent most of his time with Queen Zahara, learning the ways of her people. Every morning, she walked with him through the glowing city, teaching him about Salari history and the meaning behind their strange customs. One morning, Zahara brought Alex to a quiet garden at the heart of the palace. Here, giant flowers shimmered with blue light, and small creatures floated lazily in the warm air. For the first time, Alex saw Zahara without her royal armor. She wore a simple white robe, and her face looked softer, almost tired. "Do you miss your home?" Zahara asked as they sat on a stone bench. Alex thought of Earth, the green fields, the blue sky, his mother's cooking, and the laughter of old friends. Yes, he said honestly. But I know I must be here. For peace. Zahara nodded, looking away at the glowing trees. For a moment, she seemed less like a queen and more like a lonely person carrying a heavy weight. Alex realized she too felt lost in her own home. My people do not all agree with me, Zahara confessed quietly. Many believe humans are dangerous, and some think peace is weakness. I inherited this war from my father. He believed only in fighting, not talking. Now there are those who wish I would continue his path. Alex was surprised by her honesty. He saw a flicker of pain in her eyes. It's the same with humans, he said. Some want to fight forever, but most just want to live in peace. My parents died because of this war. I don't want anyone else to lose their family. Zahara looked at him with new respect. We both lost much, Alex Carter. That is why we must try to build something better. As the day went on, Alex and Zahara shared more stories. Zahara spoke of her childhood, how she learned to lead, how she always felt alone in a palace full of advisors and guards. She told Alex about the pressure to be perfect, to never show fear or doubt. Alex listened, understanding more than she knew. In turn, Alex shared memories of his home, his first days as a soldier, and the friends he lost. He told Zahara about his fears, of failing his people, of never fitting in, of not being strong enough for this new role. To his surprise, Zahara didn't laugh or judge. She listened quietly, then put a gentle hand on his arm. You are strong, Alex, she said. You chose peace when it was easier to choose war. That is true courage. From that day, something changed between them. They were still different, alien to each other in every way. But now there was a bridge of trust. For the first time, Alex felt he wasn't just the human soldier or the queen's betrothed. He was her partner in hope. As night fell, the city glowed softly outside the window. For both Alex and Zahara, a small seed of friendship had begun to grow. 2 seconds, the peace between humans and that salary felt fragile, like a thin thread stretched tight between two worlds. Alex and Queen Zahara had begun to trust each other, but not everyone shared their hope. One morning, as Alex trained with salary soldiers in the palace courtyard, a sudden explosion shook the hive. Dust and smoke rose in thick clouds, and a nearby building collapsed with a thunderous crash. Soldiers screamed and ran in every direction. Alex's heart pounded. Get down, he shouted, pushing a group of trainees behind a glowing crystal wall. He scanned the chaos, searching for the cause. Zahara appeared quickly, her face fierce and calm. Sabotage, she said, eyes sharp. Someone inside our own people wants this peace to fail. Alex nodded, feeling a cold anger. They both knew this was no accident. Someone was trying to destroy their fragile alliance. The palace doors were sealed, and guards searched for the attackers. Alex and Zahara worked together, questioning witnesses and examining the rubble. The explosion came from near the royal archives, a place where important records and secrets were kept. Inside the dusty room, Alex found evidence of a hidden device, an alien bomb designed to cause maximum damage. Whoever planted it knew the hive well. Zahara's advisors argued loudly, blaming each other. The palace felt like a storm ready to break. Who could do this? Alex asked, his voice low. Zahara shook her head. There are those who fear change. They believe the war must continue. They will stop at nothing. Alex clenched his fists. We must find them before they strike again. Late that night, Zahara and Alex met in the quiet garden where they first shared their secrets. The soft glow of the flowers made the shadows dance around them. We are not safe here, Zahara said, her voice tired. I cannot protect my people alone. Alex looked at her. Then we protect each other. We find these traitors and stop them. The two began planning. Alex used his human training to analyze the attack, while Zahara used her deep knowledge of the palace and its politics. They agreed to work in secret, to avoid panic and mistrust. Over the next days, Alex moved carefully through the palace. He watched the advisors and guards, looking for signs of deception. He noticed whispered meetings behind closed doors, and secret messages passed quickly between shadows. One night, a servant approached Alex in the dim hallways. "Meet me at the lower tunnels," she whispered. "I have information." Alex followed her to a hidden chamber beneath the hive. There, the servant revealed a group of extremists, Zal-Eri, who wanted to kill him and break the peace. They planned another attack soon. Alex's heart raced. "We must warn the queen," he said. The servant nodded. "But be careful. They watch us both." Back in the palace, Alex and Zahara prepared for what could be a deadly battle, not with blasters or armies, but with secrets, spies, and shadows. The war might have paused on the surface, but beneath it, the fight for peace was only just beginning. The wedding day was coming, but peace was still fragile. Not everyone was happy about the alliance between humans and Zal-Eri. On both sides, powerful leaders watched closely, waiting for the right moment to take advantage. When the human delegates arrived on the Zal-Eri homeworld, Alex felt the weight of his new role more than ever. The humans who came were politicians, diplomats, and reporters. Some smiled warmly, hoping for peace. Others looked doubtful or even hostile. At the Grand Palace, Alex met with the human leaders. They were proud and confident, but some seemed to treat the marriage like a political game. One ambassador whispered to Alex, "You're in a tough spot, soldier. Some humans think you're giving away too much." Alex frowned. "This marriage is not about politics. It's about saving lives." The ambassador shrugged. "We'll see how it plays out." Back in the palace, the Zal-Eri advisors also whispered and plotted. They worried that humans might trick them, or that the peace was too fragile to last. Zahara felt the pressure from all sides. One night, Alex and Zahara sat together in the palace garden. The stars shone brightly above them, but neither felt at peace. "Your people doubt me," Alex said quietly, "and my people doubt you." Zahara nodded. "Trust is hard to earn after war. We must show them what we are capable of." The next day, the wedding preparations began. The palace was alive with excitement and tension. Humans and Zal-Eri worked side by side, but the air was thick with caution. Alex met with the wedding planners, learning about Zal-Eri traditions. The ceremonies were long and full of meaning, symbols of unity, strength, and hope. Alex felt nervous but determined. During a break, a human journalist approached Alex. "Sergeant Carter, some say this marriage is just a show. What do you say to that?" Alex looked the reporter in the eye. "This is real. I don't just fight for my country. I fight for a future where our children won't know war." The reporter smiled slightly, surprised by Alex's honesty. But not everyone was convinced. Some humans wanted to use the marriage for power. Some Zal-Eri wanted to use it to gain advantage in trade and territory. The political games were just beginning. In the palace halls, Alex overheard a conversation between two human officials. They spoke quietly of demands and conditions, trying to control the alliance for their own gain. Alex clenched his fists. He knew this was dangerous. If the marriage became only a political tool, peace would fail. That evening, Alex found Zahara again. "We must be careful," he said. "Our people need to see that this marriage is more than politics." Zahara took his hand. "Then we will show them, together." As the wedding day grew closer, Alex understood that the biggest battle was not on the battlefield. It was in the hearts and minds of two very different peoples. Only if they could win that battle could peace truly last. The day of the wedding arrived with a soft light over the Zal-Eri capital. The sky was clear, and the glowing towers sparkled like stars. Every corner of the city buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. Millions watched across two worlds, waiting for a new beginning. Alex stood before a mirror, adjusting his uniform. The human suit felt heavy and strange in the alien palace. He looked at his reflection. Tired eyes, a face that had seen too many battles, but a heart ready for hope. Nearby, Zahara prepared herself in a chamber filled with glowing flowers and soft music. The ceremony was a blend of both cultures. Sol-Eri priests performed ancient rites, their voices rising in song. Humans recited words of promise and honor. Alex and Zahara repeated vows that spoke of peace, trust, and unity. When the moment came to join hands, Alex felt the weight of the future in Zahara's touch. Her skin was smooth and warm beneath his gloves. Around them, both Sol-Eri and human faces watched silently, waiting. Then the unexpected happened. A soft glow surrounded their joined hands, spreading warmth through the crowd. It was an ancient Sol-Eri blessing, something no human had ever seen before. The light symbolized the joining of two souls and two peoples. Gasps filled the air, followed by a wave of cheers. For a moment, there was only hope. After the ceremony, a grand celebration began. The palace gardens opened, filled with music, dancing, and food from both worlds. Alex tried a strange Sol-Eri drink that tasted like honey and spice. He laughed with Zahara as they moved awkwardly through the dance, their differences making the moment even more special. Guests from both sides mingled, sharing stories and learning about each other. Old fears seemed to fade in the glow of new friendship. Alex saw human soldiers talking with Sol-Eri scientists, children playing games mixing both cultures, and leaders shaking hands without suspicion. But beneath the joy, Alex and Zahara knew the road ahead would not be easy. Their marriage was a symbol, yes, but symbols could be broken if people chose to fight. That night, as the city lights dimmed and the celebrations quieted, Alex and Zahara stood on a balcony overlooking the hive. The stars above seemed to shine brighter than ever. Today was more than a wedding, Alex said softly. It was a promise. Zahara smiled, her eyes reflecting the lights below. A promise we must keep for both our peoples. Alex felt a new strength in their bond. Together, they had begun something no one thought possible, a true union of two worlds. As they looked out over the city, neither knew what challenges the future held, but they faced it as partners, united not just by ceremony, but by hope and courage. And in that moment, the universe seemed just a little smaller, a little kinder. The wedding had brought joy and hope, but peace was still fragile. The next days tested the strength of the new alliance. Both humans and Sol-Eri had doubts, fears, and anger buried deep inside. Alex and Queen Zahara worked hard to show their people that the marriage was real. They visited settlements where humans and Sol-Eri lived side by side. They spoke at meetings, encouraging understanding and friendship. But not everyone listened. On the border between their worlds, small fights broke out. Old enemies refused to accept the new peace. Some humans attacked Sol-Eri traders, while angry Sol-Eri soldiers responded in kind. Rumors spread quickly, and trust slipped away like sand through fingers. Alex felt the weight of responsibility. One day, he stood between two groups ready to fight, human miners and Sol-Eri patrols. Guns were raised, voices shouted. Alex raised his hands. "Stop," he yelled. "We fight no more. We are partners now. This war ends here." Slowly, the weapons lowered. Eyes met with uncertainty, but also hope. Alex knew this moment was small, but important. Zahara faced challenges too. Some of her own advisors whispered that she had made a mistake. "You gave away our strength," they said. "You trusted a human too much." Zahara stood tall, reminding them, strength is not only in weapons, strength is in unity and peace. Together, Alex and Zahara showed their people that the old ways must change. They worked to create new laws and agreements, blending human and Sol-Eri traditions. It was not easy. Many argued, but slowly new respect grew. One evening, as they returned from a peace meeting, Alex saw children playing together, Sol-Eri and human laughing, sharing games. He smiled. This was the future he fought for. But danger still lurked. Extremists from both sides tried to sabotage the peace. Alex and Zahara's personal guards uncovered plots to harm the Queen and Alex. The couple had to stay alert, their bond tested by threats and fear. Despite these trials, their leadership inspired many. The first joint colony was established on a border planet, a place where humans and Sal-Ari worked side by side to build homes, farms, and schools. It was a small step, but a powerful symbol. Alex often walked among the settlers, listening to their stories, sharing laughs, and sometimes offering comfort. Zahara joined him, and together they showed that peace was possible. At night, when the stars shone bright above the colony, Alex and Zahara stood hand in hand, knowing that the road ahead was long and hard, but they were ready. "We started something important," Zahara said softly. Alex nodded. "Not just for us, but for everyone." In their hearts, they believed peace was more than a dream. It was a new dawn, for two worlds, united as one. A year had passed since the wedding that changed everything. The joint human Sal-Ari colony on the border planet had grown from a small outpost into a thriving community. Buildings made from a mix of human steel and Sal-Ari crystal rose under twin suns. Gardens bloomed with earth flowers and alien plants. Children from both species ran and played together, their laughter a hopeful sound in the quiet universe. Alex Carter stood on a hill overlooking the colony, his eyes scanning the vibrant world below. He no longer saw a battlefield or enemies. He saw neighbors and friends. The peace he fought for was real, and fragile, but real. Behind him, Queen Zahara approached quietly. She wore a simple robe now, far different from the gold armor of her youth, but her presence was just as powerful. "Do you remember the first day you came here?" she asked softly. Alex smiled. It felt strange, like stepping into a world I didn't understand. But now it feels like home. Zahara nodded. "It is a new beginning, not just for us, but for everyone." They walked together down the hill, toward the heart of the colony. People greeted them warmly, some with smiles, others with respectful bows. Alex saw the changes. Schools where human and Sal-Ari teachers worked side by side, markets filled with goods from both worlds, and a council where leaders from both species made decisions together. But the peace was not without its challenges. Old enemies still lurked in the shadows, waiting for a chance to break the alliance. Alex and Zahara faced those threats together, stronger as partners than they ever were alone. One evening, after a long day of meetings, Alex and Zahara stood on their balcony, looking up at the stars. The sky stretched wide and endless above them, full of possibility. "We have come far," Alex said, "but there is still work to do." Zahara took his hand. "Yes, but together, we can face whatever comes. Our bond is more than a marriage. It is a promise to our peoples." Alex squeezed her hand gently. "A promise I intend to keep." As they stood in silence, a soft light flickered on the horizon, a signal from the neighboring systems, welcoming the new alliance. It was a reminder that the universe was watching and hope was growing. For the first time in decades, two very different species had found a way to live as one. The path had been hard, full of doubt and danger, but they had made it. Alex looked at Zahara and smiled. "This is just the beginning." She smiled back. "Yes, a new dawn for all of us." Together, they faced the future, ready to build a galaxy where peace was possible and where humanity's courage could shine across the stars.